Alright guys, Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Lots of scrims going down over the last couple of days, and we've started to see some streams go live from the OpTic camp. They played a scrim set yesterday against the Ravens, and it went especially well for Dashy on the main AR, dominating the lobby in terms of the pure numbers. Also very interesting to note, the other day Cloud9 played FaZe, and they took them down 3-2. The new Los Angeles Thieves team played Cloud9 last night, and it was a very different story. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. First of all, just thought this is interesting here from Mutex on, well, Skyline. Now, you guys may have seen this already, but I thought I'd mention it regardless. Here he is in a 1 versus 2 situation, gets the first kill, and then wallbangs the second guy right through this. Well, look, should this wall be wallbangable? There's a question on that. As I say, when a wallbang is possible, I think it should take off more damage than this, because he goes through the wall and it maybe takes him 6 shots to kill the guy defusing the bomb. So, yeah, it's an interesting spot. Whether it should be possible is a question. Some people are saying, oh, this is a day one spot, everyone's seen it. Some have not necessarily, so thought I'd share it. Firstly, iLLeY, he's coming back, or is he coming back? What's going on here? Because, well, it's been a roller coaster with iLLeY, hasn't it? I mean, I want him to come back, so I like the tweet, I mean, out of respect. But we know that he did that tweet a while ago saying free agent for the new season, then he deleted it, right? So, you know, we're not really sure what was happening there. Shotzzy was talking about it as well, that iLLeY's still struggling with something, it seems. I'm sorry I pressed like, but it's disappeared. Okay, whatever. I'll like it again later when the internet's working again. But Shotzzy said that, yeah, there's problems going on behind the scenes, really. He knows what they are to some degree, but it's obviously not ideal. He doesn't want to talk about it so much publicly, and totally understand that. But iLLeY, like, he's back in business on some level, right? He's obviously tweeting here, favour if I should make the comeback. And I hope that he does, you know, come back and has the ability to make the return to competitive play. An exciting player, a world champion, but a player that's not been able to complete any of the last, what, 3 seasons, right? Of course, the Vanguard year with the thumb injury and then all the drama at the end of the season. Obviously, the year then starts for OpTic in Modern Warfare 2. Scump retires, the team falls off, and obviously iLLeY gets dropped, basically, and they obviously make the changes they did, with Hook coming in and Ghosty coming in, with iLLeY then departing the organisation kind of silently in strange fashion, to be honest, towards the end of the season. And then this year, all the drama happens at Major 1 in Boston, the infamous interview, and iLLeY was then like quietly ushered out the door, as it were, shortly afterwards. So, yeah, I'm confused as to exactly what's happened here with iLLeY. Like, obviously, we wish we knew better on the situation so we could comment, you know, and maybe, I don't know, just wish him well in a more precise and targeted way, because right now we just don't know what's happening. But, yeah, obviously everyone is hoping that iLLeY, you know, the best for him after what happened over the last few months, but he's back on the timeline, right? I mean, he seems to be implying that, yeah, he could potentially make a comeback here. Obviously, it's a bit too late, isn't it, to make a comeback for the start of the season as a starting player, but it's not at all impossible that iLLeY could come back. Like, let's say Formal hypothetically decided, you know what, yes, I'm going to form the Halo Gold Squad, but I can't really be bothered with Halo, I'm going to come back to COD. Formal would get a chance, maybe immediately, but certainly after Major 1, Major 2, when teams make changes, someone's going to pick up Formal. Possibly the same here for iLLeY. I think what people would like to see, though, for iLLeY is just grind challenges, right? Because we've never really seen iLLeY do it. Other top players have done so. They've gone down to challenges, they've grinded. I don't even know if I need to see iLLeY grind challenges, more so than I just need him to see him grind something. I mean, like, get in some 8s, get in some S&D 8, or like, let's just see him play again, right? Even if it's not challenges, like, because iLLeY was known as the #1 chief grinder. Drazah's kind of taken over that mantle over the last couple of years, but that used to be iLLeY's #1 role, really. Like, he'd play all the time, we know that. And, you know, maybe it hurt him with the thumb injury or whatever. Of course, there are rumours that he was, like, playing through the injury because he wanted to try and come back. But that's how committed this guy was to improving and getting better, that he was just playing all the time and he loved it. And nowadays, we just don't really know what's happening. So that's the latest iLLeY update. Of course, we are hoping maybe iLLeY returns. Maybe some people aren't. Like, obviously, that's an opinion point. But there aren't many rookies. And what's going on here? Because if iLLeY comes back and if other players come back, that is other players that have been in the league before. As I mentioned yesterday, maybe the day before, I don't know, Raincore and the Falcons guys are the only rookies right now. So I think there's a couple of things going on here. Of course, the organizations don't necessarily help it because they, you know, maybe sign players at unknown quantities. But at the same time, as Brian Saint says, pretty much the best performers in challenges of the last year were former pro players. You know, Paul X, for example, now back into the league, stuff like that. So he reckons like there will be 18-year-old players that are next up that are going to get their chance. We just need to see them grow a little bit, which maybe is true. But I think it is a bit concerning that Scrap, Pred and HyDra were 3 players that were in challenges and dominating, and we're not really seeing players quite like that coming along. They kind of are. I mean, Cobra was one maybe, but it's kind of been cheesed out of it. So, you know, there's a debate on whether the teams, of course, are making their best decisions. But let's talk about some of the scrims from the last couple of days. We saw a fair few results, such as this one. Surge versus Gentamates is very interesting because we know how well Surge ended last season. A lot of pro players were saying, yeah, Surge was super nice. I don't know how they weren't better at the World Championship and the World Cup. They played okay, but they didn't, like, you know, play as well as people thought that Surge were going to place really well from talking to the players behind the scenes. But it never really quite materialised. They got rid of Hook, they got rid of aBeZy, they brought in Hicksy, they brought in Nastie, and early days it's looking pretty good. They played 4 maps against Gentlemates, they won the first 2, close 250-220, 250-244, and then they dominated the second 2. This, of course, the team of Skyz, Kismet, Priestahh and Lynz, effectively 2023 subliners, but no HyDra and Lynz instead. A team that, you know, I think Lynz can do a good job. Is he HyDra? No. Will he ever be HyDra? Highly unlikely. The question I more so have is, are Skyz, Kiz and Priestahh, are they going to be as good as they were a couple of years ago? I think that is still a fair question. So yeah, Surge get the win 4-0 here, but of course what everyone was really waiting for was OpTic to turn on the streams and start to see some OpTic Scrims come into play, because, you know, everyone wants to know how the OpTic boys are getting on in practice, and of course this is absolutely no exception. So OpTic played the Ravens yesterday, and well, this was a very impressive result. I think the protocol we don't have the screenshot of, but everything else we do, starting I guess here with the Vault. So it's great to see as well the coaches broadcast this, because we saw Crowder do it, now JP's doing it as well, and game 1, Vault 250-126. Obviously, on the other side, we've got Gwinn, Slasher, TJ, and Vivid. And we saw the other day, Kremp had that clip. He smoked Slasher and said, oh, how is this guy still pro or whatever. And it's obviously very early days. It's scrims, the game's just come out. But we can read, I think, a couple of things into this. Certainly, I would say, from the Dashy side here, because this was a dominant win. Pred goes 31-22. Shotzzy goes 28-22. Kenny doesn't have his best map, but he does have 13 assists. And then Dashy with a near 40 bomb. 32 untraded. And I wonder whether in this game Dashy will play in a slightly different way, because last year we know that Dashy had to adapt and become effectively the hill kitten, right? He sat in the hill, he collected the time, and it's not like he wasn't shooting straight, but he wasn't in that slaying role that he's been in before. This year I would expect him to still be in the hard points, collecting the time, doing the objective work for the team. But I think there is a good argument to say the way that Black Ops 6 plays, the pace that it's played at, Dashy on a faster role as, you know, like basically an absolute slayer AR again, could be very well suited. And early days indicate that the engagements are there, the aggression is there, and maybe Dashy is, you know, back to Black Ops 4 Dashy on some level this year, because, you know, we know the talent isn't a question. This was game 2, they played the Skyline. This time it was Pred with a real takeover map, 34-18, 29 non-trade. Again, another rough one here for Slasher. So it's just a storyline to keep your eyes on there. The AR battles. Dashy this time 26-16, they win it. The protocol we don't have, but we do have this, the rewind, 250-165. This game Slasher goes even, 1.0, so, you know, he didn't have all terrible maps, but the rest of his team had a relatively hard time. And this time, Kenny turned up, 31-24. Dashy, though, still 31-20. Both Pred and Shotzzy, certainly Pred with lots of engagements and impact, and obviously Shotzzy doing his thing as well. So, yeah, OpTic definitely impressing so far, and the final map was actually a very similar result, with, you know, the players on Ravens being even to slightly negative, and then OpTic being even to slightly positive, certainly in the case of Pred, Dashy and Kenny. So, pretty much the scoreboards you'd like to see. It's interesting, Shotzzy here with lower engagements than you might usually expect, but if they're winning by a mile, no problem at all, and Dashy is playing at some serious pace. I think that's the question, right? Because depending on the game, does determine what meta is viable. Should your SMG be the guy in hill soaking up the time, or should it be the AR? In several games, it's been the SMG that should have done that job, and in some recent titles, it's been the AR. Just depends on the hill, depends on the situation, depends on the flexibility, and, you know, Dashy seems to be effectively positioning himself to just get loads of kills, and he's done that before with great success. So OpTic, of course, looking good. The other interesting storyline, though, from last night coming out of Scrims was this, because the other day, and again, it's early days, but Cloud9 played FaZe, and I think they beat them 3-2. They're relatively competitive in their Scrim set so far. They played Thieves yesterday, and they lost every map reasonably comfortably. I mean, 250-230. The closest one was 250-200, but the other ones were 250-190, which is a relatively comfortable 60-point or so win. So, look, COD's pretty day-to-day, but the Los Angeles Thieves, we've called them into question because we don't know how good their team is going to be. We know the upside. We don't really know what the low ceiling is or the floor is going to be of the team. We don't necessarily know what are the downsides that the roster may potentially deliver, but certainly as they get into their groove, it does seem like they're getting more and more confident. Because on paper, to me, it's a no-brainer that Thieves should be better than Cloud9, and the Scrims should and likely will reflect that. Maybe this is the first kind of sign of that. It's early days, but, you know, every day that goes by, the Scrims start to become more and more viable and reasonable and valuable to look at because the teams are learning the maps more and more. They're getting better at the game, and the you know, the curve of improvement is slowly starting to flatten. So you do get some more representative results. But very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Nading me, I'm good though.
I still top cat.
One's middle to the right, middle to the right.
I'm in mid.
He's literally mid map. P1. P1.
Our side, one shot, our pool, one shot. Hey. Gunless, one shot, our hall, back hall. We don't have bomb.
I bomb.
It's good.
They're gonna slide in on you guys.
Yeah, they try to attack in from pool side.
Formal Abe.
On
Yeah,
the box.
I think it's on the box, Eddie.
Playing you, up the pool.
Yeah, that's top.
Good shit, good play.
Round, man, good job.
Ooh,
That's a little ace.
No, that looked insane.
Wait, did you tag Pierce? Cause I ripped him.
Somebody had him.
Holy shit.
He might have regen though.
Close left.
God damn,
Wait, how did you hear this shit?
What? Yeah, he's in a corner. How did you hear him?
How the fuck did you hear that?
You wide. Bro.
You wide.
I'm in time.
He's on the couch, Dan. I saw him.
Got two. Dante, you have to stop throwing nades, please. This guy is so ass, bro.
Wait, where did I hit that name?
In hill.
Really? Bro,
Oh, hell nah. This guy has the worst nades.
Go scrap bar, bro. Somebody.
he did a shower, bro.
Holy shit. Get a W in the chat, baby. Thank you, my guy. Oh my god, I can't even focus. I don't even know where I'm going. Thank you, bro.
You do the same route. You are actually the most like dog shit player ever. It's actually fucking insane. You do the same route.
Check the champ record. And the lane record.
Check the alright, what's the ring count?
Fucking shit stain. You couldn't win champs 2 years straight because I sent you packing. Good night. Stop hitting the same route, bro. Retown the same angle.
I put it on Skyline, the only map he's somewhat decent at.
Damn, did you got you on clamps right now, or what?
He's cheating.
Oh my god!